Well, hello, you're hiking with Jenny on the Cohos Trail. This is day 8. I'm just leaving the Cabot cabin area where I set up my hammock. Today's gonna be another tough day. I think it's gonna be about 16 miles and 3,500 feet of elevation gain, something like that. Which doesn't sound like a ton, but we're going to be going over at least 5 named peaks, including one 4,000 footer. So I don't know how they crammed all that into 3,500 feet, but I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of like short ups and downs and not any like super long extended climbs, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, we're gonna be going up and down, up and down, up and down all day, which is gonna be pretty exhausting, especially over a 16-mile span. But the reward at the end is that I am getting into Jefferson today, and I'm staying at an Airbnb. When I get into Jefferson, I'll also be able to go to the old corner store, which sells pre-made sandwiches and pizza and things like that. So I can restock on snacks and get something to have for dinner tonight, which I really need because I've been experiencing a little bit of hiker hunger last couple days, and my calorie needs have increased. So I'm hoping stopping at that store will help refuel me and get me ready for the next last stretch, because I really don't have a whole lot left of this trail. There's definitely some tricky parts ahead, but mileage wise, if you look at the map, I'm like almost to the end pretty much. I'm counting on there being 4 more hiking days, including this one. We'll see how this all goes. From what I've heard, today is the hardest day due to all of the blowdowns that are in the Weeks region of the Kilkennys. It's been reported by multiple hikers as a very slow-going section due to all of the blowdowns and steepness of those climbs. But by now, maybe there'll be trails worn away going around the blowdowns that I could use. I don't know. We'll see. We're starting the day descending from Mount Cabot. It's going to be kind of a long descent, but we're going to get into, it's called Willard Notch, and then we're going to go back up to Terrace Mountain, and then we go down that, then we go up, I think it's Mount Weeks next, down that, up Middle Weeks, down that, up South Weeks, go down that, go up Mount Wombeck, I think is next, down that, up Mount Starking, and then finally down to Jefferson. Oh, it's gonna be so long. Today's gonna be the day. I have an audiobook I'm gonna finish today. Just crank it out. Crank out the mileage. Try not to think about all the crap I'm gonna hike. But we should get some views too. Still on my way down from Cabot, but I keep running into people day hiking on their way up to Cabot, and I've talked to 3 men, including one man who's doing the 48 over the age of 80. So he's over 80 years old and he's attempting to do all 48 4,000 footers. He says that in New Hampshire, he says that he's done 25 of them so far. So it was pretty cool chatting with him, and yeah, actually seeing hikers for the first time in a while has been kind of nice. And so they've been asking me about my hike, and some of them have heard of it, but they didn't know, like, oh, where does it start? Where does it end? So I've been kind of trying to fill people in on it and spread the word. This is North Terrace Mountain, elevation 3630. I guess there's multiple terraces. It's kind of a little ridge. Fall number 4, I think. I just took a short break at this junction, and I think I'm gonna do this spur. It's only 0.1 to the top of Terrace Mountain, so I just run up and hit it because I don't know if this is on any lists. Could be on 100 highest something or other, but I don't know when I'm gonna be back here, and it seems like it would be a big pain to get out here otherwise, so I'm gonna hit it while it's there. I guess this little clearing here marks the summit of Terrace Mountain. I don't see a sign or anything. Kind of an obstructed view. I bet you could fit a tent up here though. Alright, back down. So next up, descent off of Terrace Mountain. There should be a small water source in Willard Notch between Terrace Mountain and Weeks, and I'm really banking on that water source because I'm down to less than half a liter of water, and it needs to last me the rest of the day, and I'm only like 3.5 miles in. Probably not even like a quarter of the way through the day. We did have that one day where it rained, so I'm hopeful there'll be something there. Otherwise, today might be pretty uncomfortable. Made it to Willard Notch, and this looks like the water source. And if you look up here, it is trickling a little bit. So I should be able to make do with this. Managed to get 1.5 liters, which should last me the rest of the day. According to my sources, the next 6 miles are going to be the worst, with overgrown brambles and blowdowns, especially when we go up South Weeks Mountain. So I think this next section is going to be pretty slow going. This tiny little cairn appears to mark the summit of North Weeks. So that's one week mountain. On to the next. This little cairn marks the summit of Middle Weeks, and still have South Weeks coming up, which is supposed to be the worst of it. I ran into 2 ladies that were going north, and they had obviously been through that section. They said, yeah, it was pretty bad, and the worst part is near the summit of South Weeks. Apparently the blowdowns are so bad, people have made like multiple paths around it, and so it's kind of confusing which way to go. So hooray! At least, you know, it sounds like once we're past that section and onto Wombeck, it sounds like it gets a lot better. So Yeah, it's been really slow going. Lots of blowdowns, although most of them have kind of paths around them by now. It's pretty grown in. I can still follow the path, but I'm definitely glad that I'm wearing pants today because I think that it would scratch up my legs pretty good if I was in shorts. This is probably the worst part I've been through so far. It really does not look like there's a trail there. It barely looks like there's a trail there. I think I'm getting close to the summit of South Weeks. It's pretty bad. This climb has been made sweeter by the presence of many raspberries. I've just been kind of grazing as I walk. They're so good. Well, I made it to the summit of South Weeks, and while it was really grown in, I didn't find it as confusing as those northbound ladies found it. I think what happened was they were coming up here and they saw multiple paths, whereas I haven't come across junctions like that. It's been very clear which way to go if you're coming from the south. But I could see how they definitely may have gotten turned around. And I don't think they took the path that I took to the summit because there was a lot of spider webs and all those raspberries. I don't know how anyone could have resisted picking those. Wambeck is the next summit that we're going to hit. Wambeck is a 4,000 footer, but we're not starting from the bottom, so I don't think it'll be too bad. And suddenly I am on the summit of Wambeck. Oh, I am pooped. It's 5:39. I think it's another mile to Star King and then 3 miles down. The summit up here is kind of grown in. I hiked this, I don't know, like 5 years ago. And there wasn't really much to see then either. Yeah, so this next piece from Wambeck to the parking lot, I have hiked this before with Sean like 5 years ago, and this was like my third 4,000 footer, I think, at the time. It was one of the first ones. Probably one of the easier ones too. So I think the way going down will be better. I want to show something. I can't believe this happened. I noticed this on top of North Weeks, but this has started to come apart on my shoe. And actually you can see my sock, because the black sock through the holes. So these are going to get replaced when I get home. Unfortunate. I don't think I have 500 miles on these yet. But it's probably getting close. I made it to the top of Star King, and there's people up there, so I didn't want to film too much. Just met my first northbound Thru hikers. So Janet, aka Slow and Steady, and I don't know what her partner's name is, unfortunately, but they were headed, I don't know where they're camping tonight, but they were asking me about the water situation. I had to give them the bad news. The next water isn't till Willard Notch, but I guess they had planned for that because they brought water for tonight, and then tomorrow they'll be hiking Willard. So that's good. Yeah, unfortunately they have that rough section I just finished ahead of them. But yeah, it's cool to finally meet some other people that are through hiking this, because I had met 2 other women that were doing like a section of it, and then there was Junebug who was doing a section of it. So far I've met day hikers and section hikers, but those were my first ones that said they were going all the way. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's funny, the one memory I have of hiking down this mountain 5 years ago was I was hiking with Sean and he had to poop. So he told me to hike ahead and he'll catch back up with me. Well, it took him a really long time to finally catch back up with me. And in the meantime, I was like hiking by myself on a 4,000 footer for the first time. And I was like kind of scared. And now look at me. I'm doing this whole through hike by myself. I just saw a man hiking up the mountain carrying a 2-liter Canuck bag of water. And that's it. And I was like, this is strange. Because, you know, like, they're really awkward to, like, you can't just drink out of a Canuck bag. But then I was like, I bet he's those ladies' water boy. I bet he's carrying water up to them for the night. That would make sense, because I think they said something like, well, because I asked if they had enough water for tonight, and they're like, we will, which I thought was kind of strange, but maybe because, like, that guy was hiking water up for them. Interesting technique. So by the time I got to the parking lot, it was dark. I walked to the old corner store. I bought a lot of pizza. It was like $1 a slice, so I got like 6 slices. I only had 2 of them, but I'll have some for breakfast, and then I'll probably pack some out too. I got some more snacks, a couple drinks. And then I walked over to the hotel. It's kind of like a cheap hotel, but it's okay. It's got everything I needed. I took a bath, which I really needed. That felt so good. I'm so sore. By the end of that hike today, my feet were just aching. I was practically limping out of there. It was not good. Tomorrow will be easier. It'll be less elevation. It should hopefully not be grown in like today was. Today ended up being 15.7, but it felt like longer than that. It's just, it was exhausting. I'm gonna get a good night's sleep tonight and hopefully be recharged to do it all again tomorrow. Hooray. This is the end of day 8. Thank you for watching. Happy trails.